Well, let's go to the weather wall. I'm joined in studio by meteorologist Siphesihle Kunene. Thank you for being with us. Siphesihle, this was meant to be very bad, and I know it is, but considering that schools across the province are closed, disaster management on high alert, has it been as bad as expected?
Yes, that is quite true, Francis. We saw the system about 7 days ago when it was still developing over the Atlantic Ocean. So it moving closer and closer towards the country, and then started disseminating SMSs, South African Weather Service, in collaboration with the media houses, into everyone, into disaster management centers. That's why they actually closed the schools and could actually ask the people not to go to work, for instance, for non-essential things, things like that, yeah.
I'm asking because there were some tweets from Stellenbosch, even from Tamboerskloof, and people were saying, well, this isn't major, or could it still be coming? Just explain which areas have been affected thus far and which are going to be.
Okay, well, it's simple. With the storm, it's not as uniform as people might think. As you can see, maybe if you just some of these clouds actually here, they're scattered clouds. In some places, we said we're expecting isolated rainfall. That's why in those areas, we've got 30%. 30% means isolated, then 60% scattered showers. So it will miss some places. You'll get that it doesn't rain that much, or the winds are not as strong. But in the same general area in the Western Cape, the winds were strong. Well, we've got proof with all the visuals that we have. It's not only the winds, but it's also things like it's the strong winds and the heavy rain, which was very strong, and it caused snowfall. So in those areas where we did see havoc, in those areas where we did see the havoc, that's where it actually happened. So in the general area, yes, we were expecting it, and it did rain quite significantly.
All right, that is interesting. So it's not moving as a block, and you're right about the wind. At least we saw Vanessa Puna earlier struggling to speak to us, almost blown off her feet. Where is this storm? Where is it going to move to? Because we're also expecting very cold temperatures in Gauteng. So maybe outline what's expected for the next 2 or 3 days.
Okay, well, like I said earlier, we did have places like Laganbaar, where we had 33 millimeters of rainfall. It's quite a lot of rainfall for the areas in Western Cape where it's been drought-stricken. But it's moving towards the east. Today, it's still in the Cape Town. As soon as it hit land, it sort of slowed down and moved at a very slower pace than we had expected. So it's still in the Cape Town, still having those strong winds. By tomorrow, we're expecting it to be much weaker in terms of intensity. So we're still expecting for today, just moving towards the eastern parts, towards mainly the Eastern Cape for tomorrow. When the Eastern Cape, we're also expecting, this is what's happening right now. As you can see, there's strong winds. The purple color is actually showing us winds of about 60 kilometers per hour plus. And then for the next 12 hours, it's moving towards the Eastern Cape. As you can see now, then for the Cape Town area, it's becoming more yellow, which is about 30 kilometers per hour. So that's the intensity in wind speed going down. But it's moving towards PE, East London, and especially the places along the coastal areas. These are the places that are mostly hardly hit. The warnings for today, still seeing these gale force winds, very strong winds for today, between 60 and 90 kilometers per hour. But it's moving towards Beaufort West, Graaff-Reinet, into Craddock, Grahamstown, Gomani, those areas for tomorrow. That's where it will be. But the warnings are actually even less. These are the warnings that you've got for tomorrow. It's just gale force winds, no longer over the interior, mainly along the coastal areas. So people along the coastal areas, especially the south coast, they should worry even more about the storm that's still coming.
Okay, so it's moving across more to the east. Will Gauteng be affected?
Yes, we're getting there in Gauteng. What you're going to get is just cold temperatures, no rainfall, not a lot of strong winds. The winds won't be that strong, but cold temperatures, especially Friday morning. That's where we're going to see the drop in temperatures. Friday morning, Friday afternoon. And then Saturday, because we're in winter, temperatures sort of struggle to get to maximums to be 20s or 25. So Saturday, we're still going to feel the effects of very cold temperatures into Sunday as well. Although we're going to see clear skies throughout the time, especially for Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, we will see clear skies, but temperatures dropping down significantly to your teens. We're expecting 14, somewhere there in the teens, especially over the weekend.
Okay, and where the real intense wind is, you showed that moving across. So basically by tomorrow, things will be much calmer in the Western Cape.
Yes, this is tomorrow.
Will the worst be over, or is it over already?
By tomorrow, the worst will be over, except for places we are still living in the coastal towns. We're still having the effects of the high seas because it's still pushing inland, and especially along the south coast. So from George, still having the effects of the strong winds and the high seas. From George spreading towards Port St. John's, especially Margate area, especially later on in the afternoon. That's when they'll start feeling the effects of the strong winds later. So that will be Thursday in the afternoon in the eastern parts of the country. In the west and over the interior, most of the effects are gone, especially the wind. It'll start clearing, especially the rain. Yeah.
Okay, we've run out of time, but you're mad to be surfing right now, basically.
You're very crazy. Even if on a small fishing boat, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, stay off the oceans. Thank you very much.